Hi everyone, I'm Josie from Castelles Cupcakes and Bakes, and we are going to be doing some slow cooker recipes for Hubb Pots project for the Hubb Foundation. So this recipe is Papa Amantia's Sicilian Meatballs. So I'm sorry, Dad, I am sharing your secrets. Maybe not all of them, because they've got to go in a slow cooker. But yes, we're sharing a Dad's Sicilian meatball secrets. So today we've got some mincemeat. We've got some beef mincemeat and some pork mincemeat. And the reason I do that is, one, for flavour, and two, it's just cheaper, especially when you're feeding the masses. And I've got a husband that's 6'7" and he likes a good meatball, I'm not gonna lie. So we're just gonna mix up some beef mince and some pork mince. If you want to be really healthy, you can use the 5% fat minces. However, tend to find that they're a bit drier, meatballs are, and not as tasteful, but equally hit the spot when you are trying to cut the calories down. These ones today are a little bit paler in colour because I have chosen a little bit more fat in them. I think they were 15% fat, these. So we're going to get lots of flavour out of these meatballs. Right, so to your mince, once you've mixed up both of your beef and your pork mince, we're just going to add in around 6 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. And the reason I add the breadcrumbs first is because if you're going to be buying breadcrumbs from your supermarkets, they're quite dry and they're quite coarse. So by adding them into your mince sooner, they're getting to get some moisture in them. Ideally, if you can leave them overnight, if you can leave your meatballs for around about 5 to 6 hours so that your breadcrumbs can just moisten up, then that'd be brilliant. I have used in the past, I've had no bread in, but the boys are like, Mum, can I have some meatballs? So I have in the past used a wrap. So I had a wholemeal wrap in, just that random one that's left in a packet in your cupboard, blitzed it up in a blender and then whacked that in some mincemeat, and that worked a treat as well. So you can just use any kind of bread that you've got in. But breadcrumbs, I would certainly say, try and leave them in your beef for about, say, 5 hours if you can, because it'll just moisten them up a bit, and then you've got nicer, fluffier meatballs. So I have just squeezed those breadcrumbs into the mince, and we're now going to add some Parmesan cheese. I mean, you know, who doesn't love a bit of Parmesan? So I've got in here around 4 tablespoons of Parmesan. If you do like your cheese, then I would say if you want to put in more, feel free. You're not going to ruin the meatballs by adding more, because we're going to bond this all together with an egg. So, but I would say that this is enough. It also helps to season your meatballs as well, adding the Parmesan cheese, because Parmesan cheese is a harder cheese, and to get it hard, you tend to find that it's got a bit more salt in it. The next thing that we're going to add to this now is secret ingredient, mint. Now I know that's really random, pork with mint and beef with mint, but trust me when I say fresh mint leaves in these meatballs are your secret to success. They just give it such beautiful flavour. I've had a neighbour recently that tried me meatballs when I was doing a tester, and apparently she wants to come live with me. And the secret's just a bit of mint, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I have probably got here about 4 sprigs of mint. Try not to add in the coarse stems. Pull your leaves off, because your stems can just be a bit too chewy. So yeah, just, do you know what? I'm not getting techie here. I'm just tearing your mints. You just want them just nice and small and fine in your meatballs. It doesn't really matter how big they are. It's all adding to the flavour, and once they've cooked, the mint leaves just melt into the mince anyway. You're not going to notice them. So just kind of no technical abilities here, no technical skills here, all self-taught by a Sicilian mum and dad that have taught me everything I know where cooking's concerned. So yeah, I've got to say that it's your mint that is the secret ingredient, and none of this jarred mint. It's got to be fresh mint to get that beautiful flavour You can pick up your bags, can't you, from your supermarkets. I tend to find that they now do those little bags, don't they, of your herbs, so you're not having to buy the big pots and they're like 70, 80p. So I'd say about 3-4 sprigs of those and just get pulling them out, shoving them in your meatballs. Okay, so we're just gonna give the beef and the pork another squidge. And again, I keep squidging it because you've got those coarse breadcrumbs in your meatballs, so the more you can kind of work the meat and the breadcrumbs together, the better. It just adds that moisture into those breadcrumbs when they're going to cook in your slow cooker later. Okay, so we're now to bond all this together so you keep the ball form in your slow cooker, because they are going to be your slow cooker for quite a while. We're going to add an egg, and again, no technical abilities here, just whack your egg, pop your egg in, making sure you don't get any shells in. Again, no technical abilities, just kind of now mould that into your mince meat. So really kind of squish that together. So we've now got your mix for your meatballs all done. Now you can add a bit of salt and pepper if you want to into them. I know my dad's gonna have a heart attack that I haven't added salt to this mixture. So you know, if you, like I say, it just depends on how much parmesan you've put in. I'm personally not going to add any more seasoning. I'll probably add, actually, do you know what I'm going to add a bit of pepper, just a little bit of pepper into my meatballs, but I will season the sauce afterwards. These meatballs can make quite a few different meals. So with your meatballs, what's going to happen is you're going to get lots of sauce from it, and the sauce you can turn into like a nice tomatoey pasta dish and then pop a few meatballs on the top. Or you can just use the meatballs and whack them on a beautiful sub, just a breaded sub, and you've got your meatball marinara. Shove loads of the sauce over the top once you put your meatballs in your bread, and then grate some cheese over the top, and you've got a gorgeous meatball-y sub, which is to die for. Again, if you just want a quick tea when you get in, then it's the bomb. It's brilliant to do. Okay, so we're now going to just make up our meatballs. Now, because you've got the breadcrumbs in your meatballs, you just want to keep squeezing them. And the reason I do that is, if you don't squeeze them hard enough, they're all going to break up in your sauce, which isn't a bad thing, because you're going to have some meatballs in your sauce and then some mince in your sauce, which can make a gorgeous tomato pasta dish. So, but the firmer you are with your meatballs, the more chance you've got of when you come back to your pot that you have got your balls in there and it's not just become a ragu or a bolognese. So let's get these meatballs in. Again, size-wise, just the palm of your hand, really. Just grab enough, the palm of your hand, and whack them in. Doesn't matter if they're all different sizes, just, you know, mama bear, papa bear, baby bear size meatballs all in one pot. It all goes down the same way, doesn't it? I think if you were going to be putting them in a pot and cooking it over the stove, you want them all to be the same. But because these are cooked slowly in your slow cooker, it doesn't really matter. So the next thing we're adding to your meatballs now is your sauce that's going to go onto your meatball marinara, or you can shovel over some lovely cooked pasta. So just dead easy. It's just a tub of passata that I went to my local Lidl for, and just pop that in. So nothing overly technical. What you'll find is the flavour is going to come from the juices from those meatballs, the cheese, the mint, and then your seasoning. Okay. Now I'm also going to add in there. So if you've got a family that's a bit fussy with garlic, you can put in some whole cloves of garlic into your sauce, or you can chop them really finely. So I've got fuss pots. It'll still do the same thing. I'm just gonna slightly press on the garlic. It's gonna release the flavour, and you can just chuck that in again. Again, simple as you can. Just pop in your garlic. I've already peeled these cloves. Just pop them in your sauce. And then if it is that you've got fussy kids, you can pull out your garlic cloves. You'll be able to find them. Okay, so that's your garlic cloves. Then to this, we're going to just add in a little bit of olive oil. So I'd probably say a tablespoon of olive oil. So just pop that in. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning. So we've got in here a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper. Okay. So we've seasoned your meatballs, we're going to add in some red wine. Again, you can get your reduced down stock pots that are your red wine stock pots. So I would say we've got around about 50 millilitres of red wine that we're just going to add into your sauce just to make it a little bit more opulent. So then we're going to add to our sauce some sugar cubes. I am going to add around about, so I'd say your sugar cube is a teaspoon. So I would say 3 teaspoons of sugar in your sauce. Again, just to make it a little bit opulent. Just whack them in. I'm only using sugar cubes because I've got them in. Normally it would just be a teaspoon of sugar. Okay, and then, again, this might be really random, but, and I mentioned this to all my friends, is if you can have some bicarbonate soda in the cupboard, it's a game changer when it comes to tomato sauces. So you know sometimes on your tomato sauces you can just have that real intense tomato tang and people don't really tend to like too much tomato sauce because it's too tangy. The acidic content in your bicarb just kind of softens the sauce down and just takes away that tanginess. Don't want a lot. You can actually put too much bicarb in and then it ruins the whole flavour. So I have literally got a quarter of a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda that I'm adding in here, and it just takes away that acidic tanginess of your tomatoes and just makes that tomato sauce a little bit more opulent. That's the secret to all the sauces for your bolognese, for your ragouts. We do a cherry tomato sauce with fresh cherry tomatoes reduced down. Your bicarb kind of eats away at the skins to make them less chewy and just makes them melt in your mouth. So that's your bicarb. And then we're going to add to this around 4 leaves of basil. So if we put these on a low setting for 5 hours, 2.5 hours into making your meatballs, you want to add in some pesto. So you can get your jars of pesto from most supermarkets. Again, Lidl, I've got a lovely pesto that's their own brand, and you're going to add it in halfway through because it's just the less time it's in there, the more flavour you're going to retain because it's already had basil reduced down, olive oil, cheese, garlic all reduced down into it. So we're gonna add this into your meatballs about 2.5 hours into your boil. Okay, so our meatballs have been on now for at least 5 hours and they are smelling gorgeous. So let's get these dished out. Yeah, so I can see in this one, we've got a few of the meatballs that have reduced down, which is gorgeous. So you've got an amazing tomatoey pasta sauce there. Before I do take them out, I'm just going to cover them with a bit of Parmesan cheese. Why not? Because I absolutely love my Parmesan. So let's just take some out and see how they come out, shall we? Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, looking good. Not bad for a slow cooker, I don't think. I think considering you've had them on and cooking, you've had them on a hot cook for 5 hours and you've still got some gorgeous meatballs. Did all right with getting the sizes, quite similar with these. And then we're just going to get some of this lovely sauce and pour that over the top. So now you've got your meatballs, you can either slice them up and pop them on a gorgeous baguette that you just picked up for like 30p from the supermarket, or you can pour yourself up some lovely pasta, spaghetti, rigatoni, whatever you fancy. Pop the sauce and the meatballs on your pasta. That's another smashing meal. So versatile, these meatballs. You can have them as a nice snack, take them on a picnic. And again, great for entertaining because once you taste these, you ain't going to go back to whatever meatballs you had before, I promise you. And you'll see how easy they are to cook. So enjoy Papa and Tia's Sicilian meatballs, everyone.